You will not ruin my life again. Your life? You are the one who has been destroying mine. Liar!
In the heart of Lekki, Lagos, where luxury cars moved through gated estates and rooftop parties lasted until sunrise, lived two identical twin sisters named Zara and Zina Okafor. They had the same face, the same height, the same smile, but their hearts were completely different. Zina was kind, calm, and generous. She spoke softly, respected everyone, and always looked for ways to help people. Zara, on the other hand, was proud, jealous, and dangerously selfish. From childhood, Zara hated sharing attention with her sister. Whenever their parents praised Zina, Zara became angry. Whenever someone complimented Zina's beauty, Zara would quickly remind them they were twins. And whenever Zina achieved something, Zara secretly wished she would fail. Their parents, Chief Emmanuel Okafor and Mrs. Vivian Okafor, were wealthy real estate developers with properties across Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. The twins grew up in a beautiful mansion in Ikoyi. They attended expensive schools, traveled abroad during holidays, and never lacked anything. But despite having everything, Zara always wanted whatever belonged to Zina. If their mother bought Zina a handbag, Zara wanted the exact one. If Zina made a new friend, Zara would try to become closer to that person. If a man showed interest in Zina, Zara suddenly wanted him too. Their mother noticed Zara's behavior, but believed it was ordinary sibling rivalry. "Zara, you and Zina are sisters," she would say. "You should protect each other." Zara would smile and nod, but deep inside, she did not see Zina as a sister. She saw her as competition. Years passed, and the twins became beautiful young women. Zina studied interior architecture and started her own luxury design company in Victoria Island. Within 2 years, she was designing apartments, restaurants, and hotels for some of the wealthiest people in Lagos. Her work appeared in magazines. Celebrities began requesting her services. Her company grew quickly. Zara studied business administration, but had little interest in building anything of her own. She preferred attending parties, shopping, and posting pictures of her expensive lifestyle online. She wanted fame without hard work. At first, Zara was happy to enjoy the attention that came from being Zina's twin, but as Zina became more successful, Zara's jealousy became unbearable. People would approach them at events and say, "You must be Zina, the famous designer." Whenever they realized they were speaking to Zara, their excitement disappeared. Zara hated it. One evening, the twins attended a private birthday party at a luxury hotel in Lagos. That was where Zina met David Bassi. David was a young investment banker from a respected family, intelligent, handsome, successful. From the moment he met Zina, he was drawn to her. They spoke for hours that night. Zara watched them from across the room. She noticed the way David looked at Zina. It was the same look men had always given her sister: admiration, interest, respect, and Zara wanted it. A few weeks later, David and Zina began dating. Their relationship became serious very quickly. David loved Zina's peaceful nature. He admired her ambition and the way she treated people. For the first time in her life, Zina believed she had found someone who truly understood her. She told Zara everything. "David makes me feel safe," Zina said one night as they sat in her apartment. "I think he might be the one." Zara smiled. "I'm happy for you," she said. But her fingers tightened around the wine glass in her hand. She was not happy. She wanted David, not because she loved him, but because he loved Zina. From that day, Zara began searching for ways to destroy their relationship. She started calling David privately. At first, she pretended she needed advice about investments. Then she began sending him playful messages. David remained polite, but kept his distance. Zara became more determined. One afternoon, she visited David's office without telling Zina. She wore an elegant fitted dress and expensive perfume. When David saw her, he looked uncomfortable. "Zara, is everything okay?" he asked. She smiled and stepped closer. "I just wanted to see you." David moved away. "You shouldn't be here like this." "Why?" Zara asked. "Because of Zina?" "Yes," David replied. "I love your sister." The words pierced Zara's pride. She forced a smile and left. That evening, she stood in front of her mirror, staring at her reflection. How can he reject me? She and Zina had the same face, the same body, but David still chose Zina. Zara decided that if she could not have him, then Zina would not have him either. A few days later, she created a fake social media account and began sending Zina anonymous messages claiming David was cheating. At first, Zina ignored them, but then Zara sent edited photographs showing David with another woman. Zina became worried. She confronted David. He denied everything and showed her his phone. There was no evidence of cheating. Zina apologized, but the trust between them had already been shaken. Zara continued. She sent messages to David, claiming Zina had been meeting her ex-boyfriend secretly. She planted doubts in both of their minds. Small arguments became bigger arguments. David and Zina, who had once been peaceful, began fighting regularly. Zara watched from the side, pretending to comfort her sister. "You deserve better," she would say. But Zina refused to leave David. Despite the misunderstandings, they still loved each other. Eventually, David discovered the anonymous accounts were connected to Zara. He confronted her at a family dinner. "Why are you trying to destroy your sister's relationship?" Zara laughed nervously. "I don't know what you're talking about." David placed printed messages on the table. "I hired someone to trace the accounts." Zina looked at her sister in shock. "Zara, did you do this?" Zara's face changed. For the first time, her secret hatred was exposed. "Yes, I did it," she snapped. "And I'm tired of pretending that you are better than me." Zina stared at her. "What have I ever done to you? You were born. That is what you did. Since we were children, everyone has always chosen you. Mummy, Daddy, our friends, even strangers. Everybody loves Zina." Tears filled Zina's eyes. "You are my sister. I have always loved you." "I don't want your love," Zara shouted. Their father stood up angrily. "That is enough." Zara picked up her handbag and stormed out. For several weeks, the sisters did not speak. Their parents tried to bring them together, but Zara refused to apologize. Meanwhile, David proposed to Zina during a private dinner by the Lagos waterfront. Zina said yes. Their engagement was announced online, and the news quickly spread. Pictures of the beautiful ring appeared on blogs and entertainment pages. The comments praised Zina. People called them the perfect couple. Zara saw every post. Her jealousy turned into rage. She could not accept that Zina was successful, loved, and preparing to marry a wealthy man. Zara began planning something far more dangerous than fake messages. She wanted to humiliate Zina publicly. 2 weeks before the wedding, the family organized an engagement celebration at a luxury penthouse in Victoria Island. Business owners, influencers, celebrities, and family friends attended. Zara arrived wearing a sparkling silver dress. She behaved as though she had forgiven her sister. She hugged Zina in front of everyone. "I'm sorry for everything," Zara whispered. "You are my sister, and I want us to start again." Zina was emotional. She had missed her twin. Without hesitation, she forgave her. Later that night, Zara convinced Zina to follow her upstairs to a private room. "I have a surprise for you," she said. Inside the room, Zara poured champagne into 2 glasses. "To new beginnings," she said. Zina smiled and drank. What Zina did not know was that Zara had placed a strong sedative in her glass. Within minutes, Zina became dizzy. "Zara, I don't feel well." Zara caught her before she fell. "Don't worry," she said. "You'll be fine." Zina lost consciousness. Zara changed into a dress identical to the one Zina had been wearing. She styled her hair exactly like her sister's and returned to the party. Because they were identical twins, nobody noticed. Not even David. Zara's plan was to pretend to be Zina and create a scandal. She intended to flirt with Zina's former boyfriend in front of the guests, letting people record it, so David would believe Zina had betrayed him. But things did not go as planned. While Zara was downstairs pretending to be her sister, Zina woke up in the room. She was weak and confused. She realized her clothes had been removed, and Zara was gone. Slowly, she began to understand. She picked up her phone and called David. No answer. The music downstairs was too loud. Zina tried to walk toward the door. Her vision was blurred, her legs barely able to carry her. She opened the door and stepped into the hallway. At that moment, she heard voices coming from the balcony nearby. It was Zara, speaking to Zina's ex-boyfriend. "Just kiss me when we go downstairs," Zara said. "Make sure people see us." The man laughed. "And what do I get? I'll pay you the rest tomorrow." Zina's heart broke. Even after everything, her own sister was still trying to destroy her. Zara turned and froze. Zina stood near the balcony entrance, holding the wall for support. "What did you do to me?" The man quickly walked away. Zara rushed toward her sister. "You were supposed to be asleep." "You drugged me." "Keep your voice down," Zara warned. Zina shook her head. "No. Everyone needs to know what you have done." She turned and tried to walk away. Zara grabbed her arm. "You are not going anywhere. Let me go." The sisters struggled. Zina was still weak from the drug. She pushed Zara away and moved toward the stairs. But Zara followed her. "You will not ruin my life again," Zara shouted. Zina turned in disbelief. "Your life? You are the one who has been destroying mine." They began arguing near the top of the marble staircase. Guests downstairs started looking up. David saw them and became confused. Both women were wearing identical dresses. "Zina?" Zara panicked. She grabbed her sister again. Zina tried to free herself. Then, in a moment of uncontrolled anger, Zara pushed her. It was not a small push. It was violent. Zina lost her balance. Her eyes widened as she fell backwards. She tumbled down the long staircase while the guests screamed. When she reached the bottom, she did not move. Music stopped. Glasses fell from people's hands. David ran toward her. "Zina!" He lifted her head carefully. Blood was spreading across the white floor. Zara stood at the top of the staircase, frozen. For the first time in her life, she realized what her jealousy had caused. Zina was rushed to the hospital. Doctors fought to save her. The entire family waited outside the emergency room. Zara sat silently in the corner, still wearing her sister's dress. After several hours, the doctor came out. His face said everything before he spoke. "I'm sorry. We did everything we could." Their mother collapsed. Their father covered his face and cried. David stood completely still, as though his entire life had ended. Zara began shaking. "No," she whispered. "She can't be dead." But Zina was gone. The twin who had forgiven her. The sister who had loved her. The woman whose life Zara had spent years trying to destroy. Police officers arrived at the hospital. Several guests had recorded the argument, and the moment Zara pushed Zina, Zara was arrested for her sister's death. As the officers placed handcuffs on her wrists, she looked at her parents. "Mummy, please, I didn't mean to kill her." Mrs. Okafor stared at her with empty eyes. "You hated your sister so much that you forgot she was part of you." Zara broke down. But it was too late. The wedding that was supposed to take place 2 weeks later became a funeral. Zina was buried wearing the wedding gown she never got the chance to wear. Thousands of people attended. Her clients, friends, employees, and loved ones came to say goodbye. David stood beside her grave and placed their engagement photograph on her coffin. Zara watched the funeral from a television inside a prison holding cell. She cried until she could barely breathe. For years, she had wanted to be the only daughter people noticed. Now, whenever people looked at her, they only saw the woman who killed her twin sister. The face she once competed with became the face she could never escape. Every mirror reminded her of Zina. Every reflection looked like the sister whose life she had taken. And every night, Zara remembered the last words Zina said before she fell. "You are the one destroying my life." In the end, Zara's jealousy did not make her better than her sister. It did not make people love her. It did not give her the life she wanted. It only took away the one person who had loved her, despite everything. Sometimes, the enemy closest to you does not look dangerous. Sometimes, she has your face, your blood, and your name.